The municipality of North Cypress-Langford is located to the south of Neepawa, bordering the town on three sides and stretching south past Carberry as far as Shiloh to the west and Edrins to the east. Total population for the area is 2,860, with a land area of 1,762 square kilometers within 6 wards. This month, the North Cypress-Langford Council discusses the continued difficulty filling the position of Development Officer for the Cypress Planning District, and here's a presentation from the local library amongst its regular business. Carberry Public Library Branch Supervisor Laurie McNevin presents on the many uses of the public library beyond books, including libraries as community spaces, fostering technological literacy, and games as educational tools. McNevin also discusses issues of access in the library, not necessarily physical accessibility, but the availability of items like audiobooks and large print books, and also things like education to be able to use computer-based resources. As part of a regional library system with Brandon, Neepawa, Glenborough, and Hartney, Carberry is also able to share resources amongst its library partners. Council once again heard from the Westman ATV Club with a conditional use request for the same piece of land that they were granted use of for their ATV Derby a couple of months ago. Based on the amount of work that the ATV Club has done on the trails and the good feedback from the people using them, Council is prepared to grant this on a trial basis. Council also has not received any recent complaints from nearby residents about use of any of these trails. Another issue that has come to the table quite often lately is the new daycare center for Carberry and area. While fundraising is ongoing for building costs, the committee behind the project is asking both the town of Carberry and the municipality of North Cypress-Langford for assistance with legal fees involved with the land purchase as well as incidentals. While council has some concerns about additional future asks, they do approve a $3,000 grant towards the project. Also discussed are the purchase of a snowblower and trees for a conservation corridor, gravel hauling, the Shelter Belt program, funding for the Carberry Arts Council, and the upcoming new aquifer management plan. Following is the February meeting of the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford in its entirety.
All right, call the meeting to order. Resolution 37, 2025. Be resolved the meeting be convened at 9 a.m. with Ray Racing in the chair. Can I have a mover, please? Dallas, seconder. Robbie, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Number 2, adoption of the agenda. Resolution 38, 2025. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of February 10th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover, please? Robbie, seconder. Malcolm. Anybody have anything to add?
Is there a question? Is there a copy and paste there at the top there in the header?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay with that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Adoption of the minutes. Resolution 39, 2025. Be it resolved that the minutes for the regular meeting of January 13th, 2025, an emergency meeting, minutes for February 5th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. The joint meeting has been postponed until further notice. What's that about?
Normally
Oh, yeah.
we approve it, but she just put in there that the joint meeting has been.
Okay. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Sharon, seconder. Dallas. Any questions, anyone? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. No delegations for right now. Finance and accounts, be it resolved that the financial statement for January 2025 be referred to council. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Sharon, seconder Malcolm. Anybody have questions on the financial statement?
Anything we need to be more aware of, we can regulate?
I don't think so.
Did they spend any money when you were away?
Millions of dollars.
Don't say that.
That's okay.
Careful.
Okay, no.
Okay. Any other questions regarding that then?
The prairie tree and trenching,
that would that not be that road closer to Leroy? That we fixed? That, we made the error and went down that road?
Right.
Oh,
Had to
okay, yeah,
fix
we
it,
used to
clean
need
it
more
up.
there. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good check, anyway, so. Any more questions on the financial statement? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 41, 2025, be it resolved that the accounts check number 31279 to check number 31360 totaling $421,350.59 and direct deposits withdrawals totaling $61,595.98 be approved for payment. Have a mover, please. Robbie, seconder. Malcolm. Any questions on the checks there?
Is that payment to rentals for the hall, stockpiling?
Yes,
They're done now?
yes, they
I
are.
don't think so.
Yep.
I just signed that 208, yeah.
Any further questions to any of that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. So, I want to do this planning stuff. Deb's not coming, so we can do this before the other ones get here. Everything coming up, Teresa?
9:05 is McDonald and
Or
9:10.
9:05 or 9:45?
I know, buy it on there now.
Okay.
Do it now.
Well, it says 9:45 on our thing here. Lori McNiven, or is that?
Oh, no,
that's the
this is
library.
planning.
Yeah. So we got lots of time to do this. Resolution 42, 2025, be it resolved that council adjourn the regular meeting at 9:07 to deal with planning matters. Can I have a mover, please? Alice. Have a seconder, please. Malcolm. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you.
So do you have somebody hired yet, or is?
We thought we did, but.
Twice.
He came and gave us some misinformation.
Oh,
He told us he had his part 3 and all ready to go at the end of March or April, but we find out from Jeff, who is his mentor, that you need 100 inspections in 4 years.
Yep.
He's got about 30 complete, and he's only got 2 years. So we went back after him, and it just sort of sounded like he wasn't happy that we were inquiring, so.
That's too bad. Both ways.
He sounded like a pretty good person, but if that's the case, well, it's better to move on and let's get going. So there's 2 other ones right now she has on the list, and we're talking about one of our previous ones. Going back and talking to him, but we haven't got anything lined up for this week yet, so. It's getting to be a real show in and Robbie.
It's dog show.
It's hard to find one.
Well, it's the first couple guys that we interviewed, they came back and said that they want more money, even though the listing in there was what
Yep.
money was in both of them. And the one guy had a couple issues with his previous job, and I think that was a good thing that he didn't get hired myself.
Yeah.
But the first guy was an engineer, and I said, what, like, this guy's gonna work for that money? He's an engineer. He must be in his retirement mode, but he's not.
Yep.
And he's come back and wanted more, double the holidays, 20-some thousand more, and
So now we're almost up to that level to have to get to pay somebody. It's just,
what are the other districts paying, like, is it?
it's the same, I think everybody's in the same boat right now, where I think probably about 80 is the ballparks, are they, Robbie?
give or take, depending on your experience and
Depending
whether you
on
got a
experience.
class, your level 3 or 9 or whatever you have, depending on where you are. The first guy, he didn't have anything, and he said he was gonna just, what is it called, just go and write a cold turkey, what's that called?
He was gonna do the part 9,
Sorry, yeah, he was gonna challenge it, and he said no problem. However,
can't just jump.
he just had that ring on his finger, so. But anyway. It's gong show.
Anyway, we're to talk about McDonald's subdivision here. It's a subdivision west of Brookdale there, by McDonald's place. He's just subdividing his yard site off.
Does anyone want to see the map?
And it's a variation on the front yard setback,
That's Bert.
Sign them.
west of Burt's there. It's Brian McDonald.
Bird's
Oh,
right there.
that's Bert's there.
That's Bird's there.
Yeah, okay.
It's up right above the highway. The map underneath shows a close-up.
And that's gone through highways yet. We'll have to go through there. They approved it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
there was
not-
any, there
Objections?
wasn't any objections to it.
We didn't see that last meeting, did we? That wasn't
We
there.
talked about it, but we didn't go too far with it, no. Mind you, it's been how many
The other one.
months since we had our last meeting?
Ah,
Or was our last meeting here, we were talking about it a bit?
no, no, at our planning meeting. I don't think we talked about that one, right?
This one hasn't been on the table.
Yeah, I know, I saw it there, yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
It's just a standard
Yeah.
subdivision.
Yeah.
Looks at it.
right off the highway.
Did there have any concerns for us? Any notes?
Nope, it would be on the front of it, so.
Not really know, so,
There's no sticky notes? Okay. No one's probably contacted me. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
anybody have any further discussion regarding one's at 9:05 and one at 9:10, sorry.
Mhm.
We haven't had anybody come in and,
Not that I'm aware
Nope.
of, no.
Okay, good.
all right. So no more questions on that, then we'll, Resolution 43, 2025, be it resolved, the public hearing regarding planning matters be adjourned at 9:12. And the regular meeting of council resumed. Can I have a mover, please?
Rob?
Rob, seconder. Dallas, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 44, 2025, be it resolved that council approve the conditional use order CU 0125 NCL for Ryan McDonald, owner of the property legally described as Northeast 291216 WPM in the municipality of North Cypress-Langford and located at 94062 Lane, PR number 353, to establish a rural non-farm dwelling site within the AR agricultural zone. May I have a mover, please? Malcolm, seconder.
Rob?
Robbie? Anybody have any further questions to that?
It's too bad we have to separate a yard site to save the place from the land that it's been part of forever.
Yeah, but it's the way things happen nowadays,
Yeah.
unfortunately, yes. Any other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 45, 2025, be it resolved that council approve variation order BO 125 NCL for Ryan McDonald, owner of the property legally described as Northeast 291216 WPM in the municipality of North Cypress-Langford and located at 94062 Lane, PR number 353, to reduce the front yard setback as a condition of subdivision CPS 4155248606 from a minimum front yard setback of 125 feet for an existing residence within the AR agricultural rural zone to a minimum front yard setback of 99 feet for an existing residence within the AR agricultural rural zone. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Sharon, seconder. Dallas. Just varying it down from 125 to 99.
I would assume because it's so close to the road,
Yeah.
that house, yeah.
Any other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 46, 2025, whereas council has received subdivision application 4155248686 from Ashley Hyde registered owner Michael Reed and Judith Lee Anderson of the property legal described as Southeast 301015, lots 4 and 5, block 2, plan 2441 in the municipality of North Cypress-Langford. Approval subject to the following conditions. That a zoning bylaw amendment be made to designate the lots from RR5 rural residential zone to RR2 rural residential zone. That variation order be obtained to reduce the minimum parcel size from current acres to 2 acres in a RR2 rural residential zone for each of the 6 parcels. That the applicant meets all requirements set out by the town of Carberry in the letter from Ashley High from Burns Mandel Consulting Engineers Limited regarding connection of the 6 proposed lots to the town sewer system. I have a mover, please. Robbie, seconder. Malcolm, comments? This is west of town over here, right, Robbie?
It's west of town, north of Warren Birch's, Bruce Turner's in there, and the town had to get permission from their engineers to hook on 6 more to their existing lagoon.
Yeah.
Because after their other subdivision over to the kind of the south side of town, north of the tracks there, they're right full. So without a new lagoon being, a new cell being built, they're maxed out for the, right now anyway. So they got permission,
Yep,
and he
they
told
have-
us.
Yeah, they have permission to.
Haven't seen the letter or anything, right? Like, we haven't seen it, but the town gave us verbal permission or verbal approval at the last planning board meeting.
Yeah.
So,
So do we have to enter into an agreement with the town and all that, or?
no, I don't think so.
There's nothing on that, no.
No,
This developer might have to.
he has to
He
do
has
all
to
the
make it.
sewer and water, or he has to get everything from that new lot into
this
the existing.
Parcel that's like borders the town?
Yeah,
I
borders
think
right
so.
on the town, yeah.
Yeah,
It's right in the very northeast, northwest, behind the cemetery, actually, a little west.
Borders are,
That's what I thought.
borders the subdivision that we already
yeah,
have. It's in our municipality, both
Right.
are actually.
Yeah.
Do we need to make it looks like we have to do a zoning bylaw amendment to go from an RR5 to an RR2 on top of this, I'm coming across the table at some point.
That's already right there, it says the zoning bylaw amendment,
This is the amendment, okay.
and the lots to 2 are R2.
so that is
Acres and
probably,
the variation order down.
excuse me, Ray, sorry.
Go
That
ahead.
is probably a question that we should ask, like if it's, do we care as RM if it's going, all their sewers going that way, if he pays for everything, do we care? Probably not,
It's his expense.
yeah, so
It's not
but we don't need any kind of an agreement that states that, like, they can't use a holding tank or pump out or anything like that, so. It has to, you know what I mean?
The only part is if they have trouble collecting for their fees
Yeah, they'd have
Then
to
they'll
have an
ask
agreement
that we
with us to
add-
collect it.
Yeah,
To the
to
roll.
their taxes.
And is that normal, or is that something that we have to put in writing?
we would need
We
to
would
do
have-
writing sometime, but whether it's in this year or not, I don't know.
I don't know, it was a like, I think you asked.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
meet all requirements set up with the town of Carberry.
Yeah, but now it's gonna be, like, they're gonna ask us to go back on.
The town
would
of
have-
Carberry might have them sign off on that
It
and
would have
say,
to be in
it's
the-
probably through their office, say that, if, you know, if you lapse on payment, it can be applied to.
Or it might be in the development planning permit for the people who purchase the lots. They enter an agreement saying that if they default, it gets added, blah, blah, blah. And that might be where it gets added is in the development, from the builder's point, would it?
Well, we're assuming a lot, and I think that last paragraph 3 would probably cover most of that, is all requirements set up by the town of Carberry in the letter
Okay.
from them, I would think.
Yeah, it's.
They're the ones that are putting that out there, so are they not?
Yeah, I'd say it's up to the town to make that form, because if not, they're the ones that get paid.
As long as we're covered.
Yeah, for sure.
Cause it's all, like, I've talked to the fellow from Brandon about it, like, on the phone with us that day,
Yeah.
and it's all, there's no issues with it
No,
anywhere.
no, there were no issues.
No.
Good.
Any other comments then on this?
There's no concern from going from an R5 to an R2?
We haven't had anybody come
Just
forward or
checking,
nothing.
just asking.
I think it's on the edge of a field between the existing road allowance and north of the existing subdivision. I think there's a row of trees through there that he's going into.
Yeah, I was just worried for setbacks for anything else, because sometimes there's considerations from R5 to R2
Yeah.
for agricultural and stuff. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no,
There's no
it's-
Well,
conflict.
it's not taking any bigger parcel
No.
land out, no, they're just putting more lots instead
I don't
of.
know, but sometimes there's a different consideration going from an R5 to an R2. I just don't want to see that in there, setbacks being,
Setbacks are still the same.
that's what I thought, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, no, they'll have to be built too.
The only biggest
Standards.
question is the sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments, concerns on that then? All in favor? Opposed? Well, that carried, thank you. Resolution 47, 2025, whereas council has received subdivision application number 4155248689 from Burgess Law Office, registered owner Doug Olmsted Limited, of the property legally described as section southeast 9/1214 W in the municipality of North Cypress-Langford. Approval subject to the following conditions. That a conditional use order be obtained allowing for the establishment of a rural non-farm dwelling site within the AR agricultural rural zone. That a variance order be obtained increasing the allowable site size from 10 acres to 11.5 acres as necessary to ensure compliance with the zoning law. And that a variance order be obtained reducing the front yard setback from 125 feet to 47.5 feet for the shed as necessary to ensure compliance with the zoning bylaw. Can I have a mover, please? Dallas, seconder. Malcolm? Comments on this one? Everybody familiar with where this is at all?
What he originally set up was, he was having where the pivot came around,
Okay, yeah.
he was doing a circle. And we said that we didn't like that, we wanted square. We didn't want to start seeing that all over the RM where they're, because they're gonna farm it anyway probably.
Mhm.
But just make it square.
Okay, here's
setback.
a letter here from Devin Dietrich, our guy in Brandon. Devin highly suggested that council not request this subdivision. Long and short, if council meets the change in parcel size, the applicant can appeal this decision, which would send it to the municipal board. At this point, lawyers would get involved, and more than likely the board would be in favor of the applicant to have the irregular parcel shape, as the development plan does not state that all parcels must be square or rectangular in shape. So he's,
So it sounds like he's gonna fight.
well, they want to put the field is at the edge of the property, then they want to do the 125-foot arc around or whatever, right?
I wasn't able to bring it up, but I'm gonna try again.
So,
That's what it was, right? It was for the field.
It was for the septic
His
field.
field is just up on the edge of the in the trees.
It's in the trees,
So
yeah.
you have to have a setback 125 feet from your pump out.
Yep.
And that's what that
So they
circle
want
is
to
for.
make the arc. So we're not taking agricultural land out of production. We sort of argued that if you do it like that, then all that's going to grow in those corners is weeds. Because you can't farm it, or supposedly can't farm it.
I don't agree with him.
Pardon me?
I don't agree with that.
No, I don't really see that either myself. That's,
I can't find it now.
That's
It'll move up, up.
you see what we mean then, we're talking about there? Like that
Did you not just
Watch your
request
feet.
he pushes it farther back, the square past?
That's, yeah, just where the edge of the 125 is, just
Yeah.
square it up to the property line, just to that. I mean, he's
We
gonna
were
farm
saying
it,
square it
it's
up,
gonna be farmed
go to
anyway.
here,
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
your line up here. But they tell us that, no, you gotta do this, well, this is just gonna grow weeds. 9 times out of 10, he's gonna farm over top of it anyway, but it's a legal aspect, I guess.
We asked if we could, if he wants to leave it like that, we asked to put a fence around it, like on that arch. And then, of course, that makes it worse
That makes it worse, yeah.
for the weeds and everything else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, we just felt as a group that we don't wanna start seeing those all over the place like that,
Thanks, Teresa.
right?
Yeah,
We just, it's, where we are now, most of it's square, it might be longer or whatever, but they're square.
Square, or if it's offset, it's because
A
of
rectangular,
tree line or something
yes,
that's already there, right?
but none of these arches and all this other stuff.
That's the first time I've ever seen that shape.
I can see though where does it really matter? Like I know it's a planning issue to the arch or the not, but we've had lots of subdivisions come across the table where they're irregular shaped or cut out following tree lines and dogleg back.
But they're square. You know, like they're,
Yeah, they go up, they just dogleg
Yeah.
around and cut back, and they're square. They're not arced, but
they have so many different rules, and this is so simple just to say, no, do this. And then he's sitting there arguing with us about it, and I didn't like pretty much anything he had to say that day.
so that
So you can't get
11.5
He
acres,
phoned,
5/8 is because of the park, right?
Yeah.
It's not to do the squaring up like us, we
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
If we wanted it, it would have been 12 point something, right?
it's about another acre and a half.
Yeah, something.
To square
like
that up,
Or-
yeah.
I'm not sure what it was, yeah.
And he'd get, I mean, it's not, he'd get the same money from the farmer buying it. It's not like
Yeah,
he'd
so-
lose money. For Doug, right, it's Doug Homestead who's subdividing it. Like, it's not like he's gonna lose any money over that acre and a bit.
And by doing this, ARC is gonna actually take more farmland out of production that could be, or not any difference really anyway, because they're not gonna farm that corner anyway.
No,
Because you can't get in there with a 100-foot set of harrows or a sprayer.
140 set of seed hawk. I don't know, like, I think we stick to our guns on this one. I don't know.
Like, I'm okay with sticking with it. I don't see that we're doing anything wrong.
And in the big picture, it's not gonna affect anything. It's just gonna be easier for planning, or easier for if he sells, like he's,
Like when he sells the yard site later, it would sell easier as a square.
well, who knows, it's easier, right? Like, all they didn't even survey it. They just probably went on to where that point is and went bunk around with the 125 on the computer, and like they wouldn't have walked around there and put points all the way around that arch. Like, it didn't cost them anything more or less.
Any other comments, concerns? Okay, we'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed?
Can we
Somebody-
can we read again what we're supposed to be? Just
Because as it is read, that's with the square being squared off as proposed.
yes.
Or are we agreeing to the loop? We're agreeing to the square.
I think the planning board asked to square it off,
To square it off.
and that's what this says here, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, and then Brandon suggested that we don't approve this one, but approve the loop.
can I make a suggestion? We table this to next meeting when Deb's here to clarify, so we're not approving the wrong or denying the wrong thing. Because no one's going to
I think we need more clarity on this, eh, Robbie?
not to be a dink, but just to
Like I know Brandon said that it'd be nice to kind of have Bez recap as to.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, there's the 10 acres to 11.5, that's the squaring off.
Right.
And then the setback from 125 to 47,
Yeah,
that's on that
what
one
the shed's
shed.
close,
Yeah. So, I mean, those are basic, and that happens there all the time, but, whatever,
I don't think it's well enough explained.
'Cause I think right now, if we approve this as it reads, we're approving that as it reads with the arc. That's my.
Well, according to
understanding.
this diagram here, it's 11.58 acres, which is all in this, which is the arc. To square it off like us would be 12 point something,
Which means we're denying them,
which is we're denying this.
we'd be denying the.
The motion.
application,
So
Yes.
this one's wrong because it goes 10 acres, 11.58, and then the squared off it's 12 point something. So this is actually wrong then.
No, this is right.
No, but
It's a
yeah.
10 acres, but we're adding that extra 1.58
right.
or whatever because of the arc. But we want to defeat this and square it off is our feeling.
Yes. Well, my
Yeah.
feeling, yeah.
Or my feeling is to square it off
Right.
too, instead of that arc. Just make it a lot simpler instead of.
That's why I said maybe we should table this just to be.
Well, this is showing you're approving the arc in there.
Or, yeah, okay.
This is approving the arc in
Okay.
there.
Or do you
That's
want
what
to
this
do that,
resolution
or do you
is
want to do the other? Which is what we sort of wanted.
Well, we defeat
Or I
this
would
then.
like to see it
Yes.
square
If
instead.
we don't like this, if we want to see the square, then we defeat this.
So it's officially coming in recommendation from the planning board that this be defeated and you would like to propose it squared.
Yes.
We all under the same assumption here now? Okay, we'll still call that same question then. All in favor? Opposed? We'll call that defeated then. Okay, thank you. Clear as mud. Ray subdivision amendment, resolution 48, 2025, whereas council would like to amend resolution 9, 2025 due to a misvariation. Council has received subdivision application number 4155248665 from Terry Bray, registered owner of Bray Farms Limited, of the property legally described as Northwest 41415 west of the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford. Approval of the following conditions. That a conditional use order be obtained for the establishment of a rural non-farm dwelling site within the AR agricultural rural zone. That a variation order be obtained to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 125 feet for the house to 98 feet. That a variation order be obtained to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 125 feet for the garage to 101 feet. That a variation order be obtained to increase the maximum site area from 10 acres to 10.1 acres for proposed lot 1. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move that.
Robbie, seconder. Malcolm? Any questions on this then?
What do they mean by proposed lot one?
'Cause there's already one other subdivision on there? Is Darren Spansky's already on there?
That quarter, yeah. Maybe that's what they mean.
Okay.
Yep.
It should be a lot more.
So basically, they just added the one variation they missed from the
Yes,
original one.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's all we asked for last
I
time.
thought we were after another setback from the yard site to the west property line. Was that not a question one time, Darren?
More
Was it?
like be to the east.
You can sit, you can sit right there. Sure.
Come on up, Lauren.
I don't want to be part of the screen.
I'm not sure. I thought maybe just the garage one was missed or something.
Yeah, it was missed last time, the setback
The
from
house one we got,
125
but the
to
garage was
whatever
missed.
was missed, yeah. So we clarified that and then they added in that.
Okay. Everybody okay with that explanation then? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Let's do this bylaw first. You're okay for a few minutes? You're
Oh, yeah.
10:45, so, or I assume you're Lori McNiven? or-
I'm Lori McNevin, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got one more to go and then we'll move
No
ahead.
problem,
okay?
take your time.
Bylaws, Resolution 49, 2025, be it resolved that bylaw 4, 2024 rezoning bylaw amendment to the current zoning bylaw 7/2022, hereby read a second time and referred to council. Can I have a mover, please? Dallas, second by Malcolm. Any questions regarding that amendment? All in favor? Opposed?
Recorded vote.
No, the next one's
Or
recorded.
the next one.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Call that one carried. Thank you. Resolution 50, 2025, be it resolved that bylaw number 4, 2024, rezoning bylaw amendment to the current zoning bylaw 7, 2022, hereby be read a third time and hereby be passed and signed and sealed by the Reeve and CAO and become law. Recorded vote, Grayson 4, Homestead
4.
Murray,
4.
Jardine absent, Davidson,
Against.
Vancouver, or Vancouver, sorry,
Or,
and Tolton is absent. I'll call that carried. Or can I have a mover for that resolution then, please? Malcolm, seconder,
Davidson.
Jared. I'll call that carried, thank you. We're a few minutes early, but can we have Lori make her presentation now?
Is there a way I can hook my computer up to a beautiful screen?
There is, you can come over and
I'll move.
That's close. Vancouver. You would have won your curling, you would have went closer to Vancouver.
Okay.
Technology.
Oh yeah, the technology is always You know it works because it worked on yours a second ago.
it's coming now.
There we go, I just wasn't in all the way. Okay, so. There we are. Because I like to make things pretty. So if you don't know me, because I don't know if I've met all of you before.
Yeah, we'll go around the table first.
Sure.
I'm Rob Van Comer, I'm a counselor.
John Davidson, counselor.
Good morning. I know Dallas.
Ray Rayson, Reeve.
Teresa's Yale.
Malcolm Marie Counselor. Please meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Okay, so if you haven't met me before and you don't know anything about me, I just wanted to introduce myself. So I am a resident of North Cypress-Langford. I'm a mom, I'm a community member, I'm married to a first responder. My husband's an RCMP who works out of the FIS unit in Brandon, which is best friends like Steve. I have a master's degree in English and history from the University of Windsor, and I'm currently working toward my master's in library and information science. And I am passionate about libraries. I'm super excited about libraries. If you ever talk to me about libraries, I'll talk through your up until the end of time. And stories, and all things, and community. I find that everything relates back to that and about how we can work together. So what I spend a lot of time thinking about, because I like to think things through in a really thorough way, and be like, why am I doing this? What is the point of this? That kind of thing. So I've spent a lot of time over the past couple of years thinking about what are libraries for. Because I've been working at our library for almost 5 years now. And so I've had a good long time to see the ins and outs of it, to see how it's working, what's not working, that kind of thing. And this is the main thing that I've come to, is that libraries are not just about books. There's lots of people who think that libraries are just a room full of books and that's the only point of them, and that is just not what libraries are for anymore. We do a whole bunch more things. So literacy, which people think of as just reading, is obviously an important part of books. We do have a lot of books in the library, and I'm going to talk about a lot of things that aren't books, but we're not forgetting about the books. We're not getting rid of the books. We're not stopping spending money on the books. That's not what's happening. But literacy is about so many different things, right? It's about reading, but it's also about social literacy, about being able to talk to other people, knowing how to talk to someone who's different than you, interact with someone who's a different age, who has a different perspective, be creative, think critically, all those kinds of things. And so we have a lot of things in our library that are related to that. A lot of our programs are related to that. We have a lot of games that go on in our library, and games are an incredible learning tool. Games are an amazing learning tool. So we actually have a lot of board games that are in our collection. We do a lot of programs that are centered around games, and they bring people together in really, really cool and interesting ways. Technological literacy is a huge thing, right? Because as the world changes, a lot of our information comes through technology, and people, it's all good to be like, oh, I should know how to do this, or everybody can do this, or whatever. But no, like, just like you need to learn how to read, you also need to learn how to get the information that you need, especially because it changes so rapidly, right? Like you're always, and so we spend a lot of time talking to people about how do you get that piece of information? Where can you find that? How can you make sure that that's true? Right? So we do a lot of that. A lot of our programs are related to that. And I also spend a lot of time, people come in and ask me a question, and I direct them to the place to find the answer. Even if it's about community programming, if it's about where to find a map of Spruce Woods, if it's about how to get this, how to get that, how to send in your paperwork for your government, pension or whatever, like all these kinds of things. I help people with these things all the time. And then also community literacy, which is like thinking about yourself as part of a larger group and what your place is in that group, what your responsibility is to that group, and how you can be a better community member, how you can help to build your community rather than just take it for granted. So I think that libraries are about community building. So our library is about community building in these specific ways. We have programs that directly serve community needs. So I spend a lot of time talking to people, paying attention, noticing what's missing, and then trying to fill those gaps with the resources that I have to meet the needs of the community, right? So an example of that is right now, starting on Wednesday, we're doing a seniors technology program where people are bringing their device, and I'm gonna walk them through how to use it. And it's a 2-month program. They're gonna come every Wednesday. They're sending me their questions in advance. It can be an iPhone, it can be an Android, it can be a tablet. They're gonna show up, they're gonna ask their questions, and we're gonna teach them how to use their device so that they don't feel lost and separate from society, right? Because that is a huge part of how you get information and how you interact, right? So it's also a safe place to ask questions and to find out where to get an answer. So I kind of addressed that already, but that I do have people come in and it is a place where you can ask any question, and I'm not going to be like, that's ridiculous, why are you asking me? A library is a place where you can ask any question. Where do I find this? I probably know, right? And if I don't know, I know how to find out, because libraries are about information. They're a place where you get information. And then also, community building wise, we have direct access to tools and we have direct access to information. So a lot of our resources are like, it's not just the books, right? If you're looking for something, you're looking for the newspaper article that related to your great grandfather who did something in whatever year, right? I know how to find that. I can find you a digital copy of that. We have that in our archives. We have that in our digital newspaper archive. I can direct you to the person who can give you more information about that, right? So, and all of that is free. So it's not something that's not accessible to everyone. It's just the main barrier is that people don't necessarily know that it's there, or they don't necessarily know that that's what a library is for. So the other thing that is really important is access, right? So while I've been talking a lot about literacy, I feel like literacy and access are directly tied, because You can't gain those skills, you can't learn those skills if you don't have access to the resources that we have. So books are for sure a way to store information, they're a way to transfer information, they're a way to learn, but also what else can we have in our collection that will be more accessible to people? So we have lots of kids who come in and use our storybooks. That's our kids area right there. We have lots of kids use the library. People think of the library as a place where kids belong, right? But what about our, what happens when your eyesight starts to go? And then you can't read a regular book anymore, and then you're just like, oh, the library's not for me anymore. Well, it is though, because we have ebooks that you can get onto your phone. We have audiobooks that you can get onto your phone where you can adjust the size of the font, where you can change the volume. We have a huge large print collection that we've been investing in, and we have a lot of them. So like our library is not a very, very big library, although it's quite large for the size of our community. I really think it is. That's the main thing that people say when they come in. This place is huge because it doesn't look that big from the front. But when you go in, there's a lot in there. But we have, you can read a book on your phone. You can read a book on your computer. You can listen to an audiobook while you're driving. All of those things are available to you with your library card. And then what else are we accessing, right? So we have a lot of other things in our collection. I think I list more of them later, but we have radon detectors. We have a telescope. We have a handheld translator. We have puzzles. We have board games. And all of those things are actively going in and out of our library. And they're meeting community needs, right? So we have, there used to be, people would exchange puzzles, they would get their puzzles for the year through the rummage sale. And then the rummage sale no longer exists, right? And so then we have a massive collection of puzzles, and we didn't purchase any of them. They were all donated to us by community members. They go in, they go out, and it's just really valuable. People really appreciate it. And then the other thing that we're talking about for accessibility, people when they talk about accessibility often talk about space, right? Like, do you have a ramp? Is the lighting good? Are people gonna trip and fall on their face? Those are for sure important. Obviously we need those things, but access is also about, can you read the thing that you're getting? Do you understand it, right? So education is important too, because I have a computer for you to use, but if you don't know how to use it, then it's useless to you. So the means of access is something that we spend a huge amount of time on. So our programming, our communication to the community, making sure that people know that we have these things. Me being here telling you so that you can tell other people, that's part of access, right? Because if people don't know that something exists, they can't access it. And then connection. So I really think about, this is our cozy, comfy couch area, that the library is also one of the only public spaces where you can walk in and you can sit down and you don't have to explain why you're there. You don't have to buy something in order to sit there. You don't have to leave at a particular time, except when we close. I kick you out at 5 o'clock. But that kind of a place where you can go and you can meet with someone. If it's cold outside and you need somewhere to eat your lunch, you can come in and you can sit down, and that is the point of that place. The point of our library is to be a community hub. And so, we have kids who come in and meet each other after school. We have, a bus driver who needs to kill time over lunch, come in and sit in the corner and knit, right? We have, a person who's buying a puppy from somebody who lives at the far end of the municipality. They met at the library. And they brought that puppy we all snuggled the puppy, and then the puppy was exchanged and off they went, right? So, it's a community space where we have moms who meet up with their kids, and the kids just kind of, they read books and whatever, and they spend a couple hours just connecting. None of these are programs. They're not things that we initiate. It's just something that happens because the space is there. And then community partnerships, so it's a place where we can work together. So I spend a lot of time talking to other organizations in our community. So I work with the recreation department, I work with the Arts Council, I work with the Chamber of Commerce. I go to those meetings, I talk to those directors, and we do joint programs. I talk to the archives, like all of those are things that serve our larger community. And so I we do share a lot of information back and forth about what programs are happening and that kind of thing, but I've really started in the last couple of years doing joint programs with those people, right? So the Oral History Project is a joint project with the archives. We're having a fancy hat tea party that's going to be on, which is for story time, that's going to be with us and recreation. We've had drawing classes in the library that are through the Arts Council, all those kinds of things. And then communication. So the library is a central place where people can come and find out information. So I also spend a lot of time going around and finding out what is happening in town, what's happening in the municipality, and making sure that when people come in, especially newcomers, when they come into the library, they come in, they get a library card, I tell them where everything is. Like, this is where the dump is. Here's how you get the dump hours. This is where Spruce Woods is. This is where the beach is. Like, this is, there's a bowling alley in the basement of, how long I lived here and I didn't know there was a bowling alley in the basement of the rink. I lived here for 5 years before I knew that there was a bowling alley in the basement of the rink. Because if you don't stumble across it, you don't know it's there. And I think when you live here for a really long time, there's a lot of things that you take for granted that you assume that everybody knows about. And it's just not the case, right? So I spend a lot of my time, and the library has a lot of information in it. So just to give you an idea of how successful we've been at this, these are our year-end stats that I compiled at the end of December. That's how many people came through the door this year, 11,462. How many programs we ran, 233. The number of items that were checked out of the library, so that's books, that's games, that's computers, that's radon detectors, that's all of those things. Technology, that's the number of technology accesses. So if somebody comes in and uses our public printer, if somebody comes in and sends a fax, if somebody comes in and uses one of our public laptops, that's what that technology access is. Somebody comes and uses the 3D printer, that counts towards that number also. And then registrations, that's the number of patrons that we have registered with a library card. So I would love some of these numbers to be bigger, especially our registrations, because we have, we serve a population of like 4,000 something, right? So we're only serving a quarter of the population that we're wanting to serve. And so that means I'm not doing my job fully well, like I would love to get at least half. Because I mean, there's lots of people who, they have one library card for the family, right? So there's lots of considerations to take in on that, but I do think that we could do better on that. These are our program attendance numbers. So you can give you an idea of how, what that number is. This is how many people attended programs. We do have a lot of kids programs, but also just more kids come to programs, right? Because they have more time, they're not working, that kind of thing. But we are serving a lot of teens. People think like, oh, you can't get a teen in the library. That is not true. That's how many teens came in our library and engaged in a program, like not just came in and, sat and used the Wi-Fi, but came in and attended a program. And then that's our seniors. Our seniors number is already going to be way higher than that, because after they all come, and learn technology, 10 times in the next 2 months, our number's already going to be higher than that. So I just wanted to let you know what we're doing over at the library, so that you have an idea of what's happening there, and that you can think about the library as a place that is definitely important to share information with, right? Because if I know about something, then I can make sure that everybody else knows about it. That QR code there is to a calendar of events, Google Calendar of events, all the things that are happening at the library. If you want to talk to me, that's the phone number of the library, that's my email address. Please contact me, ask questions. I would love to help you. And that is everything that I have for you for today. I also brought along with me some of these things, because if you do live not in town, like I don't live in town, and you can't make it to the library all the time, this is the information for how to get Libby, which is the ebooks and audiobooks app on your phone. So if you're doing a lot of driving, which those of us who live in the municipality do a lot of driving, that's free with your library card. And then this is the WMRL app, which is the app that lets you browse the catalog renew your books, see when your books are due, that sort of thing. So I can leave those here for you if you want. And then also, this is our current programming calendar. That's I Love to Read month on the front. February is I Love to Read month, so we're having a tournament of books and all that kind of stuff. That's what that is on the front there. And then these are all the programs for the next 3 months. In here, we're having a murder mystery fun night at the end of March. You can check that out. We got story time. We got readers tea for seniors. You know anybody who wants to join the seniors technology program? This is what we're doing on each of the weeks. You don't have to come to all of them. You could just come to one you're interested in. So share that with everyone. And that is everything that I have. If anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them.
Could we have some of them put out at our front desk?
And that would be nice.
Yes,
Front desk.
yes, for sure. I will keep those for you.
Thank you.
Lori,
Yeah.
is the library wheelchair accessible?
It is. The ramp is technically wheelchair accessible. Yes. So but the ramp is in need of repair. So it's made with bricks, right? So the bricks have fallen in some places, and so if you want it to be really, it's not easy to get in a wheelchair, especially when it's icy.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is on the buildings committee. It's been shortlisted on the budget for hopefully this year to
Yeah.
get that front access.
Yeah.
Last time you-
We've had repairs to the steps because the steps keep chipping, right? So there tends to be
There's a nice fresh.
there's a
chunk at the
nice
top.
fresh jump right on the top of the stairs. Yeah. And snow is always an access problem
So nice.
too, right? Because the ramp itself, when we build a ramp, right? That if it's a ramp that's easier to clean the snow off of, it would really be, because it's got kind of a raised concrete edge around it with all that, so it's really hard to shovel. It's really difficult to shovel, and there's not really a place to put the snow, right? So there's a lot of design considerations. I have lots of ideas, Dallas. I don't know if anybody at the buildings committee wants to hear my ideas, but I would love to show up and tell them my ideas.
Are the archives still in the basement?
The archives are still in the basement. Yeah. The archives office is across the street, but the archives themselves are still in the basement. Yeah.
Any other comments for Lori here? It's a very good presentation.
Thank you so much.
When families,
I told you I'm excited about libraries.
when families come in to get one card, why don't you give the kids their own little card?
Well, I do sometimes, but I really take into consideration the needs of the family, right? So if as a mom, I had four library cards, right? I had one for myself, well, 5. One for myself, one for my husband, one for each of my kids. Like we do all have a library card, but if you're trying to keep track of your books and actually get them in and out, right? And not lose them, and it's really a lot easier to have
All
them
my
all
little
in one card.
card.
It really is a lot easier.
Just kind of neat for the kids to have their own card.
Oh, and there are lots of kids. I always give people the option.
They still love to have it in their wallet, even though everything goes in and out on mom's card. They
Yeah.
still love that they have their library.
Yeah.
So do schools no longer bring the kids in to get them out their first library card?
They do sometimes. Yeah. So I've done that. I did that last year. That all the grade 2 students came in. And I just had.
3s, right? I think 3s went last year. I do as well.
Oh, maybe it was the 3s too. Yeah. Yeah, I do talk directly to the teachers and encourage them to bring their classes, especially at this time of year when there's not really a lot going on. They're right down the street so they can come in, and then just that way the kids really get a taste of what's in there. And then they'll bring their families back later at other times. Yeah. I had the colony schools come and visit too that have come from.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they were here last week. They brought a bunch of their kids and got them all library cards. So yeah, and they loved it. They were so excited.
Any other comments? Allocates? I think doing a good job.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Thank
It's
you.
impressive. Thank
Where's
you.
that? My little.
Yes, Dallas's kids spend lots of time at our library. I didn't even talk about chess club. I totally meant to talk about
Chess
chess club. We have chess club. Come to chess club.
Yeah.
Chess
Same
club
night as like Minecraft Club.
Yeah, chess club is my favorite program. I mean, I say that with some of my other programs too, but chess club is my favorite program because you have multiple different age groups interacting with the same game, right? So we have seniors who come to chess club, and we have 5-year-olds who come to chess club, and they play together, and they learn to talk to each other, right? And there's not a lot of places in the world where that happens, where you're talking to a senior who's not your grandpa, right? Or who's it's not, yeah. Okay, I'll leave you to your meetings.
Nope. Thank you very much for coming. That was very good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, come in, get a library card if you don't have one.
All entitled to one.
Yeah, that's right. It's free. It's free.
Stay warm.
Thank you. So cold today.
Do you know how the funding's divvied up at all, Lori? or-
I do. I know all about the funding. Do you have questions?
I was just wondering
Yeah.
like how it's divided up with our municipality.
So, I mean, Dallas
I
can
know, I was
answer
gonna
too.
bring it up the next time, this next month when we go to our, like a regional.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause cause there is a point that like a third basically of
Mm-hmm.
RM probably goes to the Municipal Library. So-
Yes.
So yeah, there was a question to know kind of more of a breakup of.
Yeah, because there's nothing stopping people from here to go to Neepaw or from Neepaw to come to here to pick up a book.
No, there's not. And
No, you're
And I
still
mean, it
missing.
feels, in some ways, it feels like it's not fair, but in other ways, there's a lot of regional resources that that are not kind of like visibly apparent, right? But our catalog program, right? That's a regionally, like a lot of like our website, our catalog, all of our and all of our books, right? So when you go to our library, you have access to the catalog of all the books that are in all the libraries, right? And if so when you get a library card, what you're getting is access to that entire collection, regardless of where you live. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Does that make sense? What was your question about the?
Well, just about how our funding is allocated to the branches, because like my family all has library cards and my kids use the library every day just about,
Mm-hmm.
but we use the Neepaw library.
And you use the Neepaw library, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Cause I know like our per capita levy is like our entire RM
That's right.
is,
That's
right?
kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
We share 2 libraries with
Yeah.
this municipality, so.
yeah, so technically, every area has the same levy going to the same community pot, and then it's just broken down for actual needs and so.
And some of our levies go to Brandon.
Yeah, everybody's able to
Yeah.
do that.
Well, it all goes into the,
That
It all
pot.
goes
fund
in
is
the
the
regional
entire-
pot,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it goes into the regional pot, and then we have parts that are divided out according to
Yeah.
what our population,
Is
whether
it-
it be.
More on registrations or usage or population?
It's well, it depends on what it is, right? For the most part, things are regional across the board. If I need something, then I would ask, right? So, if I'm in need of a new couch because the old one's falling apart, if I'm in
Right,
need of a
yeah.
new computer, those
Yeah.
things are all
Yeah, that
needs
comes
based,
from
and
the
they keep
region, yeah.
that all comes from the region, right? So when and everything has been kind of filled in and taken care of really well in the last couple of years that we're.
Yeah, it's a very good system. Like it's
Yeah, it
all
is.
the branches are nice. I've been to the one here once, I think.
Yeah. If it wasn't recent, you should come in again because
Yeah.
I'm always rearranging things. Yeah, but then there are things that we divided out and kind of based on population, and that would be things like smaller budgets, like the programming budget, right? Like I'm given a small amount of money to spend, like per my discretion, just for programming. And if I need something bigger for programming that's regional,
Yeah,
that
at
we
the
have
same
that
time
stuff.
too, there is like a regional position
Yeah.
that helps programming for everybody, right? Like a lot of the resource, I forget the name of the program, Alex.
Alex, yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, his
So
name's
like there is for everything that is filtered down,
Yeah.
there's like a mutual resource that is dispersed equally amongst that as well. right?
Yeah, and a lot of the money that it actually takes to run the library is staffing,
Yeah.
right? Staffing and technology and collections, and all of that comes.
I have
From
no
the regional
criticisms
pot.
about how it's run. It's a very
Yeah.
good system.
Yeah, it is a great
For the
system.
amount of
It's a
money
great
that we do
system.
have to pay. I'm just wondering how it's all spread
Mhm.
out. That's all I was curious about.
Yeah,
How's your AI knowledge?
my AI knowledge is developing as fast as it can. I did attend a training session about it because it is something that I think is really, really important because it's developing at a really rapid pace. So I've kind of taken that on myself to educate myself about that, because I like to be able to answer questions when people come in, right? And I feel like we need to all be talking about that a lot more, right?
Well, Beautiful Plains School Division are at the hall here today, and they,
Is that what they're talking about there?
the biggest attendance was AI.
Mm-hmm.
There was 2 groups, and she canceled on Thursday.
Oh no!
So they're trying to fill in with some other things, but
Yeah.
I said, is there anybody local?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you had 2 days. Well, who's gonna put this all together in 2 days to,
Yeah.
you know, it's unfortunate.
I'm definitely not an expert. I would just be able to present kind of like my current knowledge of what it is, and then go through kind of the basic questions that you ask, right? I think it's really important that you understand how it works.
Yes.
You know, so if you understand where is that information coming from when you type a question into ChatGPT, how is it getting the answer? If you know that, then you can think critically about how you're going to take that piece of information that you get, right? And then how you can vet that information and verify it, right? Because I think it's a real danger that people just type something in and then just take it at face value without considering some of the really big inherent biases in the information gathering system, right? Yeah.
What Julie likes about it is she can write an email and you'll say, tone it down or add some humor or
Yeah.
different things to it, and it'll actually change it inside that email.
Mm-hmm.
It'll change the tone of it, and she thinks it's pretty cool.
It is very cool. And you know, there's some really, really amazing time-saving things, right? For example, in the oral history project that we're doing, I wanted to put transcripts for, so I was thinking to myself, you know, based on my knowledge of technology, I'm going to take my 2-hour recording, I'm going to run it through a transcription program that will transcribe it badly, and then I will spend several hours editing it. And then as I'm editing it, I will go through and I'll pull tags of subject matter and all that kind of thing so that we can put it in the archives, and then people will be able to be like, oh yeah, I want to know about farming in the 1930s. This person talked about that, right?
AI does that for you.
It did. I ran it through this program and it did 17 hours of work for me in like
It's
5 minutes.
It's
It was
amazing.
incredible. Yeah. So there, you know, it's amazing, but I think the danger is that when we don't know how it works,
Right.
and we don't notice and we don't pay attention to the problems that it can cause and the information loops that it can cause and the things that are left out, all of those kinds of things, right? So, yeah.
So when we get up to date on that, unemployment rate is gonna rise.
Yeah.
You're gonna take a lot of jobs away.
Well, I mean, you could think about it as, I don't know, right? There's going to be implications, for sure.
Yes.
There's going to be implications.
Oh, it's a good idea. Yeah.
But the AI can't garden yet, you know, can't feed cows, can't do that, can't do some of those practical jobs, and can't do the people stuff. It really can't do the people stuff. Can't do the connections, can't do the community building, can't do any of that.
Yet.
Thank you for coming.
Perfect.
Yeah, it
Very
was really
much.
nice to meet you all. Come see me at the library sometime.
Keep
Have
going.
a good day.
Now, unfinished business, resolution 51, 2025, be it resolved that council adopt the terms of reference for the drop-in center volunteer board as presented. Can I have a mover, please?
Homestead.
Dallas, seconder. Robbie? Dallas, I'm sure you got information on this?
Well, just what I read, I put a reminder in to say I'd like to find out when the meetings are. I never got correspondence for the last, anything happened this year yet. So I only know as much as I saw on paper. But it looks
Pretty generic.
pretty good. No, I reminded them that I was gonna start coming this year, and I just, hopefully I'll get next information.
Okay, any other comments, concerns on this? All in favor?
Yeah,
Opposed?
that's okay.
Carried, thank you very much. General business. Resolution 52, 2025, be it resolved that council approve the quote from Ag West in the amount of $24,999 for the purchase of a Schulte SDX 117 snow blower to be taken from equipment reserve. Can I have a mover, please? Malcolm, seconder.
Davidson.
Sharon. Any questions? I don't know whether they got it on the tractor yet or not.
Are we budgeted for this?
Yep. All in favor?
And they were putting it on too, right?
We were putting it on ourselves.
Oh, we were?
It's
Okay.
just a rear mount one.
Oh, sorry.
Tim and Matt are putting it on today.
All
Okay.
that carried. Thank you.
Yep, sorry about that.
Resolution 53, 2025, be it resolved that council approve the withdrawal of $2,725.80 from the Shelter Belt Reserve for the agreement made with White Mud Watershed creating to purchase trees to create a municipal conservation corridor in municipal right-of-way. Can I have a mover, please?
Rob?
Robbie, seconder.
Davidson.
Aaron, any discussion on that?
That's perfect.
We talked about last meeting. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution 54, 2025, be it resolved the council approve the withdrawal of $8,909.67 from the road building reserve for the purchase of 2 culverts for the project with the RM of Elton on Boundary Road 96 West to be completed in the spring of 2025. Have a mover, please. Malcolm, seconder. Dallas. Any questions?
No, doing work.
Pardon me? Yeah. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Hope to get her done next year.
This year.
Yeah, this year, sorry, Pat.
Resolution 55, 2025, be it resolved that council approve the temporary withdrawal of $400,000 from the general reserve to cover operating expenses to be replenished prior to the year end. Can I have a mover, please? Dallas, seconder. Rob, any questions? Anything on that, Teresa? It's just general what we normally do. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 56, 2025, be it resolved the council approve the repair to the MX tractor at a cost of, do you have a number there at all, Teresa?
Let's see if it's in here. I don't have it with me right now. Let's see. This.
Way too much information.
So the MX is in a Rocky Mountain already, 465582 worth of work to it, and looks like another 10,000 to complete.
Yeah, I don't have the definite number, eh?
No,
That was the estimate.
yeah, but
We
they were,
already paid the 46 for the other.
we will have, yes.
Yeah.
And then it'll be less than that because it was being sent to
Yeah, we got a
Pennos.
cheaper job.
Mm-hmm.
They're better.
Other than that, I don't see.
Can we take out at a cost off or just repair the MX tractor to be taken from machinery reserve?
Sure.
It won't be any more than the estimate.
No, it'll be less than the estimate, yeah.
So let's just reword that motion a bit, so it's repair to the MX tractor to be taken from the machinery repair reserves.
That's fine with me, I'll move that.
Yep, or Jared, and a seconder for that, Malcolm. Any questions, anybody? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 57, 2025, be it resolved that council renew their 2025 membership with Manitoba Good Roads Association at a cost of $250. Can I have a mover, please? Rob, seconder. Ellis, any questions? This one, just thinking down the road with their good roads, like they have their awards banquet, if you could think of a family in their municipality with a yard or something that we would like to nominate or whatever.
Mhm.
Last year we brought it up about Joe and Glenda McPhee, but we didn't pursue it at all. Just a comment for down the road.
Yeah, well, and then isn't that where you put in roads too?
No, we're nominated, not us.
Yeah, we get nominated for the roads.
I don't know who put our name in last year for it, but we received the award, so that's what that's all for, okay?
If you're going to, pick a yard, they need to be aware of it as well.
No.
Yeah, that's.
I was talking to Joe and Glenda already this year about if they would, and they said, no. So, anyway, just a comment, all in favor? Opposed? All that carried, thank you. Resolution 58, 2025, whereas council had approved resolution 2025 with an error regarding the tax sale time, council would like to amend resolution 2025 as follows. Whereas section 365(2) of the Municipal Act provides the council may in any year designate the immediately preceding year or any earlier year as the year for which properties, the taxes in respect of which are in arrears for the year, must be offered for sale by auction to recover the tax arrears and costs. Be it resolved that the designated year for which properties in arrears be offered for sale by auction be 2024, meaning all properties with outstanding taxes from the year 2023 or prior, and be it further resolved that in accordance with S 363(1) of the Municipal Act, costs shall be the actual cost incurred by the municipality for each parcel listed for the tax sale, plus administration fee of $50 per roll as set forth in Manitoba Regulation 5097. Be it further resolved that the tax sale be held October 15, 2025 at 2 p.m. in the Municipality North Cypress-Langford Council Chambers. Can I have a mover, please? Dallas, seconder.
Davidson.
Jaren, any discussion?
What changed?
The time,
The time for the October 15th?
yeah, it was stated 9 o'clock, but it's 2 o'clock.
That's all?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Nothing added to the agenda. Communications, anybody got anything to report on that? Province Manitoba Development Grant Program? Or lead monitoring program?
Is that something we get Tim to sample for now?
Yeah, he
Yes,
has to
yeah.
sample that, yeah, that's right.
He's on it too.
And for the development grant, are we putting in for the east water line?
Should be, have we heard any more back from Water Services?
Nothing.
Water Services Board is next, I guess, so.
Okay, you work our way down here. Winterfest sponsorship, the Langford Rec put up 400 and some, just about $500 to help sponsor the fireworks this coming Friday night, I think it is.
I think so.
So
It's
the
this
fireworks in
weekend.
Nipah at their Winterfest there, and we're sponsoring fireworks. Watershed Services Board, annual MWSB project funding request. Is that Water Services Board or?
Yeah.
I would say it's
It's on
Watershed.
watershed. This is the one for the pipelines and stuff.
Can you get more information about that with Water Services, see where they're at with that?
Yeah.
Because we applied for our study on it we did here a
Mm-hmm.
couple of months ago.
Don't we have to chip in for the treatment plant upgrades too, and water line?
Yes.
We will have to, yeah.
Can we get that through this program? A portion of it.
I would hope we should be able to.
When I would be made aware, when I read the letter, they would be made aware of any projects we had upcoming in the next 2 to 5 years as well. So at least a letter stating what we want to do should
Maybe they're already putting in for that through the town, I don't know, but.
Could be.
Put in our portion just in case, right?
Well, we don't know what the portion would be, but
No, we don't know yet.
that's the only.
Is that the municipality or is that from the funding, where they, the pool of money,
That's from the pool of
maybe
money.
from the pool money.
That comes out of the
out
water
of the water thing? Yeah,
group, yeah.
that's what I was
They
thinking.
have a budget for so many projects for 2 year, 3 year, 5 year or something.
So that water, that line that they're putting in there along number 5.
Yep.
What's that line?
It's another line for the town of Neepawa. They're putting a well in just west of Carberry Road on Jakubowski's there. They got wells a mile down now. They're gonna put one about a half mile down somewhere supposedly.
We got voluntold about it last
They need
year.
more water.
It's a redundant line in case one of the pumps fails, and the other line, they'll have 2
Oh.
lines running to bring water in and to boost their
It's
volume.
just funny, it's in the straight line, like with the other wells. Usually they'll offset them.
I think it's just backup like.
Just back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, Colette, road hauling agreement. What was that about?
He's happy with that?
He's
Yep.
okay with
Yep.
what we did there? Good,
Yep.
thank you.
I just, what's he hauling? Like
He's hauling gravel for the province
across our,
through our roads, yeah.
it's funny that, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's funny that he wouldn't stay on the highways.
I think it's.
Yeah, but I think is it not putting it up into the pit north on 464?
Yes.
Where he goes
has
for a
to go
3/4
down.
mile to the highway's yard or pit that they have there,
Oh,
up by Ryan Smith's. place.
okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
80, between
Yeah,
83
yeah,
and
yeah,
84.
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I figured that before, but I couldn't remember.
RCMP stats report. Manitoba Justice, Safe Communities, AMM, Health Recruitment and Retention. That's a reply to our letter, right? Westlake Employment, update on operations. Manitoba Good Roads, that's already there. Arts Council requests and finance. Good information on that there.
Yeah, there's only thing to note there, there was, I believe there was an increase in request for the grant. Last year we worked at a planned deficit because our account was up a little bit. We weren't asking for anything more until it worked down. But if we were to do the same way, the budget will, our balance would be quite depleted by the end of this year. So it came as an ask, instead of doing the 5 to do the 10 each, just so that it's a balanced over years, not depleted this year, then have to ask for like the moon next year for budgetary purposes. If we could go to the 10, and then if things ever happen to align where we don't have to ask, we won't. But yeah, so the request has come in for 10 instead of 5.
My only concern with that, Dallas, from reading the letter, is, and I'm not knocking anything in particular, but in their budgetary lines, they did not they showed a 0 for fundraising for the previous 2 years, and they only showed a $200 donation for the previous 2 years. And they're not actively searching for fundraising and or donations.
They do have a couple like businesses that donate directly towards programs. It's not an extensive, but the fundraising, our board has tried, but it is a group of like 5 of us, and 2 of us are like there by council, so I'm not really like super actively outside of the meeting. So they've tried to put on events in the past, and it's just gonna burn out volunteer board that is there. So I can put that.
No, I'm
Definitely
just
back.
going forward
Yeah, yeah.
because they're asking for double their budgetary amount to be given private for the
Right.
previous years.
Right.
And are they looking also at upping service fees then as an option to help offset this for future?
We always, every function is kind of taken as like individual, because it's a fine line of if we try to charge the cost of getting everybody in plus like that certain little amount, but we've found out from like experience that if we go much more than that little amount, the course doesn't happen because no one can afford it. So it's a fine line that defines like a break-even point plus a little bit, but anytime we try to add that little bit, like things are tight and getting instructors in is super expensive, especially with like travel funds now. So it's tough to make money at arts, absolutely. So we're definitely, recognizing that we're trying to make money, and we put on more programs definitely last year than we had been. Like things are going in the right direction. It's just,
A lot of
yeah. No, I
It's just we
get it.
have two ends to look after, so to be
Yeah.
prudent.
Yeah, for sure.
So the town's getting that too, I'm assuming, and hoping.
The Quest will be going in fully for sure. Yeah.
So we discuss this at our budget meeting then?
This will be
Have to,
come up with joint budget.
Yep.
Just FYI, that's coming down.
Okay, Westman ATV Club add existing trail to permit and conditional use from December meeting. Anybody got any comments on that?
Are they requesting to use a ditch as a trail?
that little chunk of road, I think.
It's a chunk of road, or
There's
like a back.
Down by
right
Camp
away?
Hughes, right?
well, yeah, it's way back in the bush there. They
Yeah,
come
So
around
it's
and
just
there's
a
a
road
little.
allowance?
It's a little chunk of road that
Okay.
they have to come up, and if it was skidooers, they'd probably trim the ditch, but it's not. It's for quads, so they just probably come up in the road where it's
Yeah.
where
So
it's
this is the
smoother.
same chunk that we gave the conditional use
Yes.
for the actual derby. Now after that same time,
Yes.
we wanted to follow up and say, can it actually be?
I thought they wanted some sort of a groove trail with a ditch or something.
Well, if it's like if it was a skidoo trail, I would assume yes, but
Yeah.
for the ATVs, they really don't have to, right? Like most of it, I don't know with the wind blowing and that, I don't know how they're doing it now anyway, but they do have a, he was dragging that thing around there in the fall.
Yeah, they got
right?
that machine for grouping room.
But I don't know if that's for snow.
No, that was, yeah, well, that's what all was good for.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't very heavy, but
No.
they say it works good, so.
I mean, what I see is they're doing all the right things, right?
Yeah.
They're going through all the proper stages.
Yep.
And I would just say, like for a year or whatever, if we wanted to do this, you just say, put a timeline on it. Okay, well, we'll do this for a year, see how it is.
Yep.
They've done lots of signing.
They've
Like
done a lot of
the
work they have.
People I've talked to that go out there, they love it.
Yeah.
And it's,
How are the residents?
there's only a couple and I haven't really heard anything. If somebody was complaining, I would have heard about it.
Like at least these people are going through the channels
Yes.
and trying to do
Yeah.
it right,
This
and
is-
And they're doing above and beyond what a lot of groups don't do.
that's right, yes.
So do you think it'd be prudent and Rob that we give them, if we were to give them permission, we put a timeline on it, say of a year, to give them a testing phase?
I would.
And then possibly give them approval in a year's time for 2 years, so it gets in the next council, so they can
And
see
then,
what
you never know
works.
if somebody's gonna come out, like a farmer or somebody's gonna come out of the woodwork complaining about something that's happening. Maybe there's certain people going off the tracks or trails or whatever. So at least if you give them a year, then you know that, okay, we can revisit this in February next year. Or whatever I guess would be our March meeting.
I would say give them a year permit, or,
Yeah, like,
and
then,
as far as insurance and that goes, we're all covered under that.
yep, it's
Yeah,
all
that
there.
was the
It's not an
biggest-
issue as
yeah.
far
Yeah.
as
And
insurance.
Exactly.
none of the previous residents that were upset with the trail in its inception have a contact.
Not with this trail that we're talking about.
No.
Okay, no, just making sure.
The only other one was Rod McLaren.
Yep,
On that.
That's the main one, yeah.
Yeah. And he really doesn't have anything to stand on.
I don't know where that one's even going
He's
anymore. I haven't heard
he
anymore.
didn't, he's got his chunk of land he still owns there, but the crown land is somebody else's now.
Okay, I just wanna make sure the residents are okay.
So the,
Anyway, we're okay with approving that for 1 year then, Teresa?
so client is applying to add 5 parcels to the existing trail. You see it up there, the blue, that's what's actually being added.
But there's 2 asks from them, isn't there? There's one from the province saying that they wanna, asking for our input of adding that trail to their permit. And then the second ask is from the ATV club about using our right of way.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
the very right hand end.
Yeah, so the province is adding that onto their existing trail permit,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly.
You're right.
Is that all crown land there?
Basically.
Can we say that
It gets down, I think, into some of Sherminski's down in there, but most of that is crown land too.
so can we say we we're behind it as long as the actual leasees are contacted personally this time for, because they weren't last time.
I don't know if we actually have to reply to, or just say we're okay with their permit or not. I don't know if we have to reply to the province's statement that they're actually adding it onto the trailer as part of a notification that they want.
Well, I think what the biggest uproar was last time, though, that they didn't know what was happening.
Right.
So if in our reply, we can say, we approve in theory, but can we request that the leasees be contacted?
Are we opening up a can of worms?
Well, I'm thinking we're saving ourselves from a can of worms if we just say, we tried to say, ask you first.
Well,
I don't-
last time when the province just went ahead and approved those other trail
Yes.
systems,
Yeah.
we had an absolute storm on
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
hands.
No, I understand.
Upset people.
So if we could just
But the
ward off
province
a wave.
owns those corners.
Yeah.
It's theirs. They should be dealing with the owners,
I
Yes.
know.
not us.
But
Hey.
in our reply, if we say like, personally, we have no say in that, but can we request?
Well, you can go to
that our-
Crownlands. Crownlands could send them an email.
The Crown Land should be talking to them.
If there's a set trail and anything, if they're going over them basically daily, and it's a set trail, like at mine, you can't get through the east end. Like it's a dead end, where these trails are, you can get through them all. So that would be up to Crown.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
To tell them.
Yeah.
They just didn't last time. So.
No, maybe they didn't know, right? Maybe Crown didn't know. Maybe the province and the Crown are two different heads of the government, right? I don't know.
We can hope they do better this time.
But I think we're okay with doing it for a year.
I think that
On a
was
yearly
smart on our
basis.
part.
Yeah,
to
the
do.
access for 1 year, I'm fine. That was kind of the chat was in that meeting.
Yeah.
Say if you can prove yourself at Little Derby.
And they did,
And then,
on that one derby they did. And if they, and just state basically that let's try it a year and then hopefully after a year we can look, longer term. Cause who knows, those two guys that are doing it now, if one retires, one
Yeah,
moves away,
right. If
it might
they
end.
don't- Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
right too. Yeah.
Like,
We got a couple of good guys there heading it right now.
It would be nice to have it on a renewal basis, because if we just did some sort of policy or bylaw and it just kind of floated on to the next group,
Yeah,
the next
that's
group
fair.
might
just
not.
disappears in the mist.
Right, and it becomes an approval letter that carries on forever.
Okay. Town of Nepa, public hearing, Southeast 1910-17.
That seems off.
Pardon me?
That seems off.
Way off.
Have they expanded somewhere?
Yeah, like they down at Shiloh now?
I think this looks like Municipality of Cornwallis,
Ah.
it may have been a typo.
It must be switched around.
I think this was the one also when the borders were against our. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Land
Yeah.
use change there.
Yeah, that's just
Put it in.
information from them.
Yeah.
Okay, Brookdale Holding, road crossing, RC 524. Which one was that now?
Crossing of the pipe.
Irrigation and electrical pipe.
Back road or something.
Road 88 west and 70 north.
Yeah, that'll be, at the corner of number 5 where Davison's are.
Yep.
If you go a mile straight west of there, I believe. They've been working on that for a while,
Oh, yeah.
and probably somebody caught them and there was no permit. But I mean, I would assume whoever electrical is, unless they're doing it themselves, should have a permit anyway.
Well, they were just in their own field until they got up to the road, so.
Yeah.
This is just to go into the road now.
Yeah, it's under the road.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is the agreement.
It's already there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident it is, yeah.
Okay, is everybody okay with that? All right, then I'm gonna put my name and say everybody agrees with me. Discussion was had then, thank you very much. Carberry and area child care development grant request, what, no?
Oh, you want more money?
Not personally, thank you. No, I had our meeting last week and, it's just officially time. It came up as a kind of a an update as to how the land process was going, because we agreed months ago, right, that they needed the land. And then at the original intent, when it was gonna be, like an RTM, the transfer didn't have to happen right away, but now that we are actually building our own and getting funding through the province, it has to actually be gone through land titles, and that step hadn't been started at planning. So, yeah, it's getting going now, but then, so we're fundraising for like the 40% of the actual building, right? That is gonna be a huge ask, and it's on its way already. This is gonna be equal ask for town and RM, just towards the legal fees and to get one of the plans going. So it's, yeah, I think it come across as like incidentals and legal fees to get this going, because if we got to get the land done quickly, because we have it's a phenomenal funding opportunity, but it has to be very, very quick. Things have to happen like stat. So
How much is this gonna cost us at the end of the day? For this facility and everything?
the only request right now is
Right
Is
now,
the- is
but
it legal?
going down the road, what's this all going to be projected at? And how
the
much?
rest, like there once this land goes through, like there isn't a limit to the funding of it. Like if we get our ducks in a row on time, and we've got a company helping us do all the paperwork now, and it's coming along very quickly. 60% is absolutely off the top covered, and then the group is already pre-approved for the mortgage for the rest of the 40%. So it's just a startup, get the land in, expense, and I can't foresee any other ask coming down the line at all, because the actual we're setting it up as a co-op. Yeah, absolutely. So we're fundraising to cover as much of the 40% as possible, to maybe not even have too much of a mortgage, but then the facility itself will be paying its own mortgage. So this is the legal fees to get the land.
Does that include all the infrastructure? Sewer, water, road, parking? Or is that just the facilities? Like you get the land, right?
Yeah.
So who does all the sewer? Like because I think the sewer line
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah,
down
yeah,
at
sewer
the,
power,
I think
yeah.
it's over to
At the corner.
at the corner. So you gotta get there, and you gotta build roads. Like that road's gonna have to be built anyway to a point, right?
Yeah.
Over time, so but you got a parking lot, you can make it gravel, you gotta put fence up.
Yeah.
It's gotta be fenced. All your outside, like, you should, talk to somebody and do a budget up, Dallas. Like, really, cause, like, yeah, I know what you're saying about the, like, that's good.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be another 300,000 or 400,000 for everything else. If that's, who knows, maybe the government will help cover that too. It's hard
Like,
to
this is a
say.
great idea, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, but I
It's
mean,
just
we need to know,
what
right?
do we
We
need
got a
to know,
budget
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
If there's gonna be asks on us on above and beyond.
Yeah, I don't see a problem putting the $3,000 forward to help them with the initial here, but we kind of need to know where it's going.
Well, yeah, no, sure enough.
And I would assume you're probably gonna be looking at legal fees and subdividing, it's probably gonna be about 20 grand. Probably towards that, give or take 15 to 20. Cause your subdivision is probably 5 to 7. And then your legal fees will be double probably, like double that, so.
There's a lot of work. A lot of questions to be answered.
Yep. No, and they're doing
You're
awesome.
great.
No, like
Yeah.
what they're doing is
Yep.
crazy good, but it just, I think there's a couple steps there that maybe being overlooked a bit, maybe. I haven't been in any meetings, but there's some questions there that you guys gotta look at
No,
quick.
That's good.
But right now, you're looking at how many
Right
dollars?
now, it's an ask of, I think it's what, 3,000 each council.
That's it, eh?
Towards
That's
legal
it.
fees.
Just to cover the legal fees for getting it started.
But you gotta do a subdivision too. You have to legally subdivide it for your mortgage.
Yeah, it'll have to be subdivided properly.
You won't get
before
any
you
money
get-
from anybody without a subdivision.
So do we need an answer for that today then, you're looking for?
I'd be okay with supporting it.
Yeah, I think if we could give that much to at least get the legal paperwork going.
Get going sooner the better for.
Well,
costs
exactly.
Well,
and
that's,
everything else, too.
that's the thing is,
And anytime any community's ever invested in daycare, it's what you need to start with.
Number
Get
one.
Any other economic development going.
absolutely.
You gotta start somewhere.
Okay, no, I will follow up.
For your next one.
Before that too, because I know when it just came up about the land too, like that it hadn't gone as far as,
But just, when you're doing the application, see what you can all show in there, so you let them talk a bunch of them.
well,
in there.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
from the campground, there'll be budget, there'll be actual costs in there,
yeah,
and you can expand on what they need for your headers, your underground per feet, or per meter, whatever, it's all in that campground. So that whatever happens with the contract there, Grady should be able to tell you, or Callie, or whatever, should be able to sit you down and pull numbers off that to give you a decent, estimate. Your gravel for your parking lots, it's all there per meter, thickness, that's all, it'll all be in that tender.
okay. Well, I will make the motion then if I can to put that 3,000 towards legal fees.
You got a resolution drawn up there already, Teresa? What number are we gonna be?
Sorry.
Sorry, was that
59.
59? Resolution 59, 2025, be it resolved that council agree to approve $3,000 grant towards a new child care development committee to assist with legal fees. Dallas will move that. Do we have a seconder?
Grant.
Grant, any more questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much.
Find out what I can stat.
Like, if you look at Nepo and Adco helped get that running,
Yep.
now look at how they've got 2 centers, it runs itself,
Yeah.
so.
Oh yeah, but they're making
Yeah.
money is not an issue at the end. They'll be wait lines forever.
They've been around on Adco when that started too.
Carberry Golf Course, letter of support.
It was sent,
Pardon me?
Nellie sent it, and
Nellie
I
asked
saw
me
that.
to
I
come in and
just
sign.
wondering what the
Oh,
rush was
yeah.
for it when our meeting was today, like why it had to be.
I don't know exactly,
Right now,
just by the
that's-
letter, what the email was, it was something to do with the, and they're not,
Mushrooms
it's
at
just
golf
support.
course?
Wanting to do yeah.
It just, like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Just to me, something like that should have been brought here first before we start just signing our name and going ahead with it and have discussion on it.
Oh, sounds right.
For another time, just if somebody sends one, send it to their office, we'll deal with it at our council meeting, like maybe we weren't. It sounded like we were all in support of it, but
Yeah.
it was signed before the email even went out, so just don't get too far ahead next time. Ag West Fendt tractor warranty, I think we talked about that, did we not?
Yeah, Matt got back to me here while we were
Oh, good.
starting this. He says it's 4,000 total hours, not an extra 4,000.
Oh,
So
We
another
got
2,000, so another 3
No.
years.
We have almost 2,500 hours on that tractor by the end of the week.
Oh, really?
So it'll be 1,500 and roughly 2 years.
So that's quite a bit for 2 years.
Right.
So we got 1 more year of warranty.
No, our warranty's done on that tractor March 8th.
This spring. We're looking at it by an extended warranty. There's different levels. So.
Sounded too good to be true.
That's what it is. Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry.
Unfortunately, we're
Well, the
getting
way
it
it
that
was-
many hours, it can get costly in a hurry. But it's only 1,500 hours, so
2,500, what's it be worth on trade? Maybe we could do all right if we're trading downsizing on it.
I don't know.
Well, that's a heck of an idea too, and then you'd send that extra,
we haven't got any money in the thing to start trading tractors.
No, I know.
That's the trouble. What's everybody's opinion? What do you feel? Stick with what
Was
we
there-
wanted to go with,
Or an
or
option that still covered the sensors and all that stuff?
Powertrain money had to go the ultimate. Only way you get the transmission covering the electrics was the ultimate.
So,
What's the price tag?
$24,000 for another.
There was 23,000 roughly to get it with a 500 deductible, 24 roughly to get it with a 250 deductible, 27 zero deductible.
Yeah, it was
Thanks,
28.
Teresa.
so 28,000 a year.
No,
28
that's
to
it.
buy
That's
the
it.
1,500
For
hours.
4 years.
Ultimate with $500 deductible was 22,900.
So 23,000
Ultimate with the
for 1,500 for $1,500.
For $1,500. The 250 deductible was 24.
So how many hours does that give us in total?
Another 1,500 hours. There's 2,500 on it now. It takes us to 4,000 in roughly 2 more years.
So divide that 27,000 by 2.
So it's $1,500 a horsepower, or $15 a horsepower. So you're,
The electronics and all that, 10,000.
I don't think that, we can't afford that. Can we?
Which,
Can we afford $2,300 for $1,500?
How much have we spent in repairs other than they've been covered under warranty in the last 3 years?
I have no idea.
a lot, it's been in there different times for
You know, so you start looking at what we've spent in the last 3 years. That was the first 3 years. The next year and a half is probably going to be more, or maybe not. You don't know.
You would hope all the bugs are out of it by now.
Well, yeah.
Odds are it's gonna keep breaking down.
Years go on.
Expenses go up.
Yeah. Mechanically, those transmission, it's electronics and the glow plugs on and stuff.
It's all electric over hydraulic, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Those transmissions are bulletproof, but yeah, electronics.
Transmission might be, but it's everything that goes along with it, yeah.
So what I've read anyway.
What do you feel?
Is machinery giving these recommendations?
I still think we should have some sort of warranty on it myself. I'm just would be willing to spend that much money. If we don't spend it this way, we've got to spend it the other way, so.
That's it.
Right.
I guess if you.
And as far as trading it in goes, I don't think there's any more value at the end of the day after we'll eat that all up real quick before we trade it.
At least you know, I guess, if you go the warranty route, you know what you're paying.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to budget. And I mean,
Yeah.
a deductible here and there is nothing, it's just,
No, the deductible's a minor thing.
And is it, I'm imagining it is lump sum right now, or can you pay it over the 2 years as?
No, it's not some. I'd assume.
I think so too.
The ultimate covers above and beyond the others, electric control units, electric motors, electronic transmission and powertrain, controllers, AC compressor clutch, GPS components, 4 hours of travel time, temperature control programmers, switches, sensors, solenoids, gauges, display and wiring harnesses.
Those are all covered.
That's all covered.
And what was the dollar on that?
That is the 23,000. If you go to enhanced, you remove those. Enhanced covers air conditioning, compressor, condenser, dryers, hydraulic tanks, pumps, oil coolers, motors, controls, and sensors. Includes joystick and electronic controllers. Excludes hydraulic. It includes hydraulic valves, cylinders, accumulators, hoses, lines, quick couplers, and swivels. Hydraulic oil filter bases. Engine starting aid, starters, alternators, air compressor, and engine block heater. Fuel tanks and tank attached fuel lines and fuel sender. Engine radiator. Internal wet brakes and clutches for hydraulic and mechanical air assist. Cab mainframe suspension, ROPS, and backup alarm.
And how much?
Enhanced?
That's the enhanced.
Well, that's pretty good.
And how much is that?
But it does not, that is 20,000, but it does not cover your electronic transmission powertrain.
For the
So it's
extra
$3,000 more.
$3,000, I think I'd be willing to spend it.
Because that could be easily
3,000 more, you get that.
Yeah.
Well,
So we got it
And
in
for,
the equipment reserve. The repair reserve, we could pull it out of there, couldn't we?
some of it. I think it was 11 or 12 in that.
Did we use it already?
Right, because it was on for the
Yeah.
annex.
I think we used that for the annex.
But we can add it as a budgetary line for this year. General.
Because technically it's not off warranty till March, so we can wait till.
Well,
Yeah,
we should decide it at this
February.
meeting if.
Well, yeah,
we have to.
decide, but we don't actually have to write
February.
the check, we don't have the cash in the bank, but if we can approve it.
I'm not gonna lie, running newer, I fixed everything under the sun. I don't care what grade, make, model it is. I've run tons of it. You guys have seen what's been on. I'd be scared
To not have it.
to not have it.
Especially on a new piece of equipment, like, they're down more than their old tractors are.
Well, the perfect example is I just went from that
That's for the
9600
operator.
John Deere, and a green light on it was 10, used to be 5 to 10 grand, plus my labor, because I usually bring the parts home. This has 670, I took it in last year, it was 20,000, this year I took it in, it's another 30.
Yeah,
I'd be
One
alright
sensor was 2,500 bucks.
going with the ultimate 500 deductible.
Is everybody else's opinion? We okay with that?
yeah, we need insurance.
We already.
I'd be okay with the 250 deductible too, so it doesn't take like 4 claims and get a grand back. The difference of deductible too, either way is fine.
I'm fine with either.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go to the 0 deductible, but
I think that the $3,000 to get you to that ultimate
Is worth it.
is worth it for the
Yeah.
powertrain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just a matter
I mean, if
of
we're gonna
which
spend
deductible.
20, we might as well spend 23.
Joysticks and all that, like that's what.
Well, that's what.
You got that all wrote down there, Teresa?
Yes, but what's our deductible? That'll, you need to decide that
If
for
we go with the
bonds.
base ultimate, that would be a 500 deductible and 23,990.
You tell them you want $20 a month payments, so it's. Till we sell it.
So 500 deductible? Is
And
that
if nothing goes wrong with it, we want this money back.
I can do it.
And if we,
Like 250 or 500, it doesn't give us any different coverage.
no, I'd suggest the 250 only because this thing is at the age where it can start nickel and diming us, and if they have to call them out for a little thing, we're not having to.
Okay.
You see what I'm getting at? Like just a little
Yeah, it only
tricks.
takes 4 calls to make up that $1,000 and the difference of the.
Joystick is 1,200 bucks.
If you're okay with that, Jaron.
Yeah, that'd be alright. 250 deductible.
it's the nickel, yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
What number we got here? Resolution 60, 2025. Be it resolved that council approve the purchase of extended warranty at a cost of $23,976 for the 2020 Fendt tractor. Can I have a mover, please? Malcolm, seconder.
Grant,
Grant, any more discussion on that? All in favor?
Gift that keeps on giving.
Opposed? Carried, thank you.
and that warranty would be transferable if we decided to trade it off next year.
Mm.
I would assume so, but I didn't, not in
Not
so I
gonna-
don't know.
Wasn't that how we checked that?
Yeah, he didn't tell me.
He didn't say.
He didn't say.
Nippon District Vet Board sewer upgrade with support request.
Yeah, you want me to?
Good.
Okay, so over the last 3 years, it's been brought up to the board different times about the cast iron sewer pipes are leaking internally in the basement, here and there. They've been patching them up for years. Apparently at the last meeting, it finally came through that they wanted to do repairs, so we should do what, that's what you heard there?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been kind of hinting at this for the last couple of years, that we're gonna have to sink some money into that building.
Have they applied for any grants or usually?
I think they are, but I don't know.
We should be able to take that out of our building reserve fund. It's a jointly owned building.
Who's it owned by?
The vet board, so the municipality of North Cypress-Langford, Neepawa, Rosedale,
Glenella.
Lansdowne,
Lansdowne,
Perry.
So that was the old Langford then.
No, never was like.
No, it was owned by the vet board out of Winnipeg back in the day. They were the ones who built it.
But it's local, though. The local board owns it.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we all own it.
Yeah.
But we never, like, North Cypress, was that part of what we paid last, like, before we amalgamated?
No,
You
No,
didn't
you
have
were
a
part of the vet district before you amalgamated, but now you are.
And they're run self-sufficient, like they really don't ask for any money.
Well, the way they charge, they shouldn't have to.
Right.
Sorry.
Right, they're all the same. Yeah, that's right.
It's a bet. Yeah.
But the building is jointly owned by the local municipalities.
There's 4 of them, correct, Malcolm? Yeah, and plus the town.
Yeah.
Makes 5. So we would pay the 1/5 of the cost.
Any idea what the price was, or?
They're gonna,
2,000 for 2 years.
2 years?
they're gonna get quotes on, but they want it, it's getting bad.
So instead of 2 and 2 is probably a 4 this year, asked to get it done.
I don't know.
The letter states 2 and 2.
Yeah.
2 and 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're wanting to get funds on hand in case something does blow up,
Yeah.
with the balance to come from next year.
So that's 2 per municipalities, that's 10 grand and they're
10
looking
grand.
for? Are they looking for?
They're looking at
Can we-
20,000.
Can we talk about this again?
Yep, no,
If you want to,
good
yeah.
idea.
Please.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
no, fair. Alrighty then, no more there.
As for the tractor warranty, it will go with it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Good, thank
So
you.
that's a bonus.
It's even easier then.
Round the table, Robbie. As he puts his glasses on.
Yes. Have we sent out billing yet to our renters on our land?
No.
Okay. I talked to Rodney about that, about the shelter bell. And just in passing, we talked about a few things. We gotta come up with a name for this program, because it's a very good program. And we should come up with some kind of a name for it. And we should be looking at if we can somehow squeeze some money together that look at each ward every year, or a couple wards a year.
Yeah.
To go in, like this one's going into your ward this year, right? So if we are able to go to, you know, and spread it out to the municipality.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great, and we just, Ronnie loves the fact of giving it some kind of name, and then he likes,
Come up the front,
yeah, so I think that's a good idea. What,
I'll retract what I told you. They have gone out.
what's going on?
The leasing
Oh,
invoices
thank
have
you.
gone out.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No,
Good job, team.
that's,
They have.
no, that's
yeah.
good. Any feedback?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, good. That's it for now. Thank you.
Has anybody got any ideas what we might like to make that for a name then? Like what would they like?
I was gonna
Darren, you need
talk to Jared and come up with some
comments or?
kind of a cool name.
I don't know. It's like, I guess, a conservation corridor reestablishment, but
Is it
doesn't sound very flashy.
some kind of a nice acronym, like a
Right.
da-da-da?
Yeah. Can we
CCR.
make a decision at our next meeting? Like, we
We'll
think about it over a month here and
Yep.
see what you might think might be idea.
Conservation corridor revival.
Well,
Well,
we better put Cypress-Langford on there too,
if you
eh?
get talking to Rod, just mention that to him and
Talking to Rodney, yeah.
yeah, have a conversation.
Erosion defender.
And CLCCR.
Yeah.
Malcolm,
Thank you guys for doing what they can for clearing snow. They've been out there with difficult times and downgraders and everything else. I know they're just they're playing a catch-up game, losing battles some days, but thank them. Also, thank you for sending out that letter based off of the hospital to UMM. Appreciate it, at least it made it more to the forefront of the issue of funding for this for the municipality and the residents. I appreciate that a lot, thank you, and everyone else for the support from that letter. Yeah, got a couple things in camera, but nothing really else.
Dallas.
I passed out a couple of thank yous to Matt from some very happy residents. He did some covers and turf himself too when the guys are on holidays, and he got a pat on the back that he still got it. Health Action Committee, continuing, I know that the town has some meetings with Paramount Health and some, just keep the ball rolling and keep in everybody's ear. And apart from just budgeting, I think that's all the meetings have been lately, is just getting budgets in, so.
Karen?
The Assiniboine Delta Aquifer Advisory Board is planning to gather public input on developing a new aquifer management plan. So look forward to public input meetings coming up, probably this coming March. There'll probably be one in Wellwood, Austin, Glenboro. And I'm not sure on the times and dates, haven't been set in stone yet, so watch for those notices coming out. And yeah, just like Dallas was saying, a lot of people are happy with the services. I've talked to people from Ward 5 and 6, and I've heard more good words and bad words about the snow plowing, so it's a good job for the guys up there.
Yep. Brad?
I attended this past weekend, well, a snowmobile poker derby. They had 140 entries, it was well attended. It was a beautiful afternoon, one of, you know, we haven't had many. Basically, the highest hand, I forget who it was won by, but it was just, no one could beat it. It was, came in early. Everyone had a good time, a lot of fun.
That it?
Yeah.
I really don't have much either, other than comments from the people. Happy with the snow removal on that. It's been quite a challenging winter for everybody. And the Winterfest in Neepawa this coming weekend on Saturday night, the Municipality, or North Cypress-Langford Rec Committee is sponsoring the part of the fireworks with the town of Neepawa. So, and part of the rec committee is this group of people right here too. So it's North Cypress-Langford's name will be on it. So good. Other than that, nope, your letter to the about the Prairie Mountain Health and that was good.
Can I mention
We've had a
something?
reply back from the others too, from AMM. So
I understand that the Winterfest is on Sunday.
Sunday night, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sunday.
Teresa?
I need to thank the girls and for holding down the fort while I was gone. Thanks everyone for checking in with them, making sure they're okay and things are going smooth. And the guys had good conversation with Matt this morning, and they've been working hard with what they have, and they're staying on it.
I was going to say, you seem less pale than the rest of us.
Why is that?
Okay, in camera. Resolution what, 61?
Yes.
2025, be it resolved that council as a committee of the whole move into in camera to discuss personnel matters. Can I have a mover, please?
Homestead.
Dallas, seconder. Malcolm. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.